Ferrari and Hamilton seem to be in a very difficult patch right now, as the seven-time world champion has hit a very unwanted milestone for the first time in his lengthy career. Now that the Maranello-based squad is still figuring things out, could we expect some sizable changes in the foreseeable future? And if not, would it prompt more aggressive behavior from Lewis towards his race engineers? There is no question about it. Ferrari and Hamilton are definitely not in a good place right now, and facts speak louder than words. For the first time in his Formula One career, which started all the way back in 2007, Hamilton has finished the first 10 races without climbing onto the podium. Yes, he scored 2 podiums during sprint race events, but in the regular format, the newly acquired Ferrari has yet to place in the top 3. That's a clear indicator something is going wrong, and Hamilton knows it better than anyone. Ferrari is highly likely to receive strong pressure from Hamilton to switch their focus to the new regulations and the era in which Hamilton will have a fresh chance to challenge Leclerc from ground zero. It's safe to assume Lewis is not happy with the upgrades Ferrari has brought, not just because they are underwhelming, but because he is surprised the media acts like any meaningful upgrades were brought at all, Canada being the prime example. When asked what he expected from the new package brought to Montreal, Lewis acted extremely surprised, saying his team brought 0 upgrades and that they desperately need some in order to start fighting at the front. All in all, his dissatisfaction is through the roof. In Canada, we saw that he was once again left in no man's land after pitting at a very questionable time. Trying to make progress on new tires, Hamilton found himself battling with literally no one. He even expressed his disbelief to his race engineer, Adami, saying that the strategy they chose was the wrong one, and now he's left with nothing in the race. The situation wasn't any better for Leclerc either. The Monegasque driver was stripped of a potential podium fight thanks to his team's questionable strategy. Elaborating further on the dissatisfaction with Ferrari and how the team is clearly no longer in the fight for the Drivers' Championship, Hamilton said, "There are a lot of things I'd like to talk about, but I can't be too open. There's a lot happening within the organization. I want to be an agent of change to ensure the team achieves long-term success. I'm constantly challenging the engineers, pushing them. They say, we've done it this way. And I reply, but what if we tried something different? I don't know why we haven't brought any upgrades. I hope they arrive very soon. We need a lot of upgrades. It's clear we're no longer fighting for the championship. We need to focus on building the foundation for next year. It's not great to see a driver of Hamilton's caliber fighting for P5 and P6 and not scoring a podium after 10 races in Formula One. Even Kimi Antonelli, the rookie who replaced him at Mercedes, was able to climb onto the podium and even scored a pole position in Miami. It's definitely questionable whether Hamilton made the right choice in moving to the Maranello-based squad. Although expectations for 2025 weren't at the highest level, we are currently witnessing some big changes within the inner circles of Ferrari. The most obvious one is the communication between Hamilton and his race engineer. Although it has improved massively from where they started in Race 1 in Australia, there are still many hurdles to overcome. According to Lewis, he does need to alter his ways and driving style for the SF25. His hopes for the Austrian GP have been further bolstered, as he believes the car will be a bit more competitive there. Elaborating further on the adaptation process and how it affects his performance, Hamilton said, "I think mostly just me adapting, but I think Montreal really highlighted the weaknesses of the car. I've never had a car understeer so much at low speed. Here it just doesn't want to turn through turn 2 and turn 10, so yeah, definitely not my most favorite weekend, but I hope the next one will be better." One matter Hamilton has been pressed on throughout the first 10 races of the season is the car's setup, something many believe has gone utterly wrong on his side. However, during the Montreal GP, the 7-time world champion firmly believed that the SF25 had been set up perfectly well for both him and Leclerc. So the blame for the P5 and P6 results needs to be pinned on the team's strategies. Let's not forget that it would have been P6 and P7 had it not been for the infamous crash of Norris. Elaborating further, Hamilton said, "We did the best we could with the setup. We have been working flat out all weekend, trying to get it to go quicker." Ferrari went through a lot of changes when it comes to their team principle, and while Vasseur is considered to be an upgrade compared to Binotto, the lack of results speaks otherwise. Many believe that Fred could be thrown under the bus for the underperformance of his peers, but it's up to Ferrari to decide the fate of Vasseur. The way that Ferrari deals with their races is just questionable, to say the least. You cannot put your driver out there and not feed him proper information or give him a good race strategy. That just doesn't work. Although the pit stops have improved in terms of speed, the bad calls and the questionable decisions from the pit wall are calling Ferrari's integrity to fight up at the front into question. Let's not forget Leclerc's performance in Montreal and how it was hindered by the horrendous tactic used by Ferrari. When he was told that the team is considering Plan B, Leclerc said that based on the tire's performance, he is thinking of Plan C. It's highly likely that Plan C involved a change from the hard compound tire to the medium compound one, and then one more change back to the hard compound tire, the same strategy used by Norris. We saw that Norris was in the battle for a podium finish, with Leclerc being around 3 seconds behind him before the first pit stops. The fact that the team called him in and mounted the hard tire yet again, indicating that they were definitely going to stop one more time, goes to show what's wrong with Ferrari.